Today we're going to be talking about something that all wide receivers should be able to do. So something that all wide receivers should be able to do is run routes off of steps. So what does that exactly mean? So I'm not talking about running a 3-step slant. I'm talking about running like a curl route or, like a post route off of your 4th outside step, or maybe running a 10-yard out route off of your 3rd inside step. So let's say, for example, I'm lined up here, quarterback is to my left foot is up, and let's say I have to run like a 12 back to 10-yard curl, and I want to break off of my 4th outside step. And we're going to talk about when to use steps and the reason behind using steps, but I want to explain to you what it actually is when you hear this terminology. So if I have to run a route, my left foot is my inside foot because that's closest to the quarterback. My right foot is my outside foot. So I'm only going to count the steps that I take with my outside foot. I'm not going to come off the ball and go 1, 2, 3, 4. That's too much thinking. You're going to play slow and everything's going to slow way down for you. You only want to count steps that you take with your outside foot. So my left foot is up, set, go. Do I count that step? Yes, that's 1. Do I count this one? No, that's 2. That's 3. And then on the 4th is when I decide to drop my hips and make this break back to the curl, or where I cut off a 1 foot and break to a post, or whatever the case may be. And we're going to show you full speed examples of how to do this in a second here. But your left foot, let's say I had to run a 10-yard out off of my 3rd inside step, and that's a speed cut. Set, go. I don't count that one. That's 1. That's 2. And then on the 3rd, that's when I do my speed cut on the out route. So all wide receivers need to be able to do that. Now we're going to talk about the reason why you need to be able to do it. Now also, fellas, if you're a receiver and you would like to train with myself and my staff of coaches this off season, we are going to be traveling out to 15 different cities across the U.S. for 2-day-long QB and wide receiver training camps. So guys, check out that very first link in the description below if you want some more information and learn how you can sign up. We are going to be coming out to San Francisco, California, Orlando, Florida. Then we head out to Phoenix, Arizona, Charlotte, North Carolina. Then we'll be heading out to Seattle, Washington, Austin, Texas, Chicago, Illinois, Las Vegas, Nevada, Newark, New Jersey, Birmingham, Alabama, Houston, Texas, Boston, Massachusetts, Columbus, Ohio, Boise, Idaho, and finishing it off in Los Angeles, California. So guys, want some more information? You're local to one of those cities, we would love to have you out. So check out that very first link in the description below. Let's get back to this video. So now, when do we use routes, or when do we count steps on our routes, and what's the purpose behind it? So generally it's when it's against zone coverage, especially if you're a younger receiver, youth wide receiver, middle school receiver, even high school wide receivers. A lot of times coaches don't incorporate routes off of steps, but when you get to a higher level of football, I'm talking college level football or anywhere after that, most of your routes, actually all of your routes, when it's against zone coverage, is going to be off of steps because it is so timing based. The quarterback is expecting you to break not necessarily a specific yardage. Yes, you want to be close to the yardage, but he's expecting you to break off of a specific step because he's going to get that ball out of his hands at a specific time. So that's why it's important. It's for timing, you guys. Now, also the reason why we do it is so you guys can maintain your route speed and play with your eyes up. Guys, if we're running like a route, let's say it's a 12 back to 10-yard curl like we just talked about, generally that break is off of your 4th outside step. But if you're doing that route and you're running and then you start looking down, you're looking for 12, that's only going to slow you down. If you have that step count, you rep it out over and over and over again, in a game you're not even going to have to count steps. You're going to be able to just run, play with your eyes up, and then just put the brakes on right away. But there are also times, guys, where you have to run routes off of yardage, aka landmark, and that's what we're going to talk about next. Now, when do we want to run routes off of yardage or landmark? And that is based when it's man coverage. So if I have like a press man DB, let's say he's inside shade, and let's say I got to use that same example, that 12 back to 10-yard curl. I can't give him a release and then come off and go, okay, 1, 2. Obviously, running routes off of steps when you're training helps you, I guess you could say, with the frequency of your routes. Because, you're doing a drill or you're running a route in practice and you're running it off of steps. That's only repetition that's going to help you in a man coverage situation, but you're not necessarily thinking about steps. You may run the route the same way and you have your eyes up and you're maintaining your stride as if you were counting steps, but that's when it's a landmark, when it is press man coverage, because you can't give a move and then go 1, 2. It has to be go attack the landmark. So you have to be able to work both. With the receivers that I train, pretty much I would say it's about 50-50 to be 100% honest with you. Whenever we work zone coverage situations or drills where we're not working a press release, it's always off of steps because I'm a firm believer that that will ultimately translate to a man coverage situation as well. But when we're doing press work, I'm always putting a cone. I always have a landmark just so they get used to both. But you have to train both as a wide receiver to be a successful route runner. Now we're gonna be showing 2 full speed examples of myself running routes off of steps. So the first example is going to be a post route off of my 3rd outside step. So I'm gonna be lined up on the right side of the field, left foot is going to be up, and my 3rd outside is going to be my 3rd step with my right foot, which is my outside foot. And then I'm going to be running a corner route in the second clip example, which will be off of my 3rd inside foot. So come off the ball, I don't count that one, that's 1. So it's my 3rd step that I take with my left foot. So I'm gonna show you how both of those should look, full speed.